Stephanie and Rick from Back to the Passport. And as Thanksgiving is right around the corner and we are ready to eat everything in sight, we thought it'd be really fun to count down our top 10 foodie destinations that we've been to, this time specifically focused on Europe destinations, as there are places that we could return to time and time again simply because of their food and wine culture. And these are also some places that we've done food tours in, so if we have, we'll be sure to talk about those. So coming in at number 10 is London, and I know there's always a joke to be made about British food, but I always feel like we've enjoyed wherever we end up dining out in London, especially when we start the day with like a full English breakfast or skip straight to like a cheese toasty as a little snack. So afternoon tea fare with like the sandwiches, the scones, and scrumptious desserts are always a big hit with us. We've done a few different afternoon teas. Most recently, we did one at the Aqua Shard, at the Shard, and it was like Peter Pan themed. Mm-hmm. I mean, those scones were amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I mean, afternoon tea with a view, you can't beat that.
Yeah. I mean, the tea is all right. Like, I'm sorry, my British friends, not the biggest fan, but we make sure to pair ours with some Prosecco or sparkling wine.
I'm kind of with Ted Lasso on that. It's garbage water.
Yeah, a little bit. But I like all the other things, like, what was it? We had the sausage roll at the Aqua Shard.
We had a sausage roll. We had little sandwiches. We had scones.
And then all the desserts that we had. The coconut cake was okay. I don't like coconut, but yeah, we also had like, the chocolate roll. There's like a raspberry torte or mousse of some sort.
There was a lot.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
It was really good. And then when we were there like 5 years ago, we actually did an afternoon tea on a double-decker bus. So we could like tour the city, see all the sights while having afternoon tea. That was also really good.
Mm-hmm. It was a nice nap. Yeah.
Except we did that like, was that our first afternoon or was that our second day?
We got to London at like 6:30 that morning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And that was, I think we did that before we could check into the hotel. So we were very tired.
Yeah, and traffic was a little slow, so it also got warm on that bus. So we ended up taking a little nap on it, but the food was great. But that was definitely a really fun experience. I really enjoy doing tea. And then also on that same trip that we did the double-decker bus tour, we did do a food tour with Eating London. And it was the London Old Docks, which is like their historic pub tour. And that was really fun, as our tour was in Wapping, which is like a neighborhood we hadn't really explored before. And it included stops at places like the Mayfair, the Dickens Inn. And this tour, we made a huge mistake before going on it. We had breakfast that morning, which was not the way to go, as I think by the time we got to the last place at the Dickens Inn, nobody touched like the cheese platter that they served us because we were all just so full. Because like we kicked off the tour with bangers and mash paired with like a scurvy ale, fish and chips paired with another craft ale, steak pie paired with London Pride, which we recently re-had on our last trip in London.
Oh, and these weren't small plates either.
No, these were like full size, like the bangers and mash. Like we got a full sausage. We had like a whole plate of potatoes. Fish and chips was probably a normal sized fish and chips. I mean, this like the tour was great. Like you got so much for the money you put in this. But oh my god. Again, by the time we got to the cheese and fruit plate and like it was paired with the cider, I think everyone drank the cider. I think we left a lot of the cheese behind.
Nobody missed the drinks or nobody passed those up. Yeah. So
yeah, definitely a fun experience. And next time, unfortunately this past time in London, we didn't have that much time. So we were not able to do another food tour, but I think we would definitely be open to doing one maybe in like a different part of the city.
Sure, yeah. Don't forget fish and chips. We had so much fish and chips. I don't want a fish and chip again for a while. So, yeah. But they were good.
They are good.
Yeah.
You don't like the mushy peas though either.
They're okay, but I wouldn't order them.
Again?
Like by choice.
Fair.
All right, so this brings us to our number 9, Edinburgh. So this was on our last trip there a couple months ago. Mm-hmm. One of the Scottish dishes you always hear about is haggis. So we did have some haggis at the World's End pub, which I had to stop at the World's End because the movie.
Why wouldn't we?
But it's not related to the movie at all. So But they did have good food, good little pub. We had haggis fritters as well as just a haggis pie. And haggis gets a lot of hate, but it's just meat. Like, it's pretty good.
It's one of those foods, if you don't think about what you're eating, it's fine.
Yeah. So that was pretty tasty. We also had sticky toffee pudding. Mm-hmm. Where was that at?
That was our like group dinner.
Okay, that's right.
That night.
Yep. Okay, that one pub. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shortbread cookies.
Bought a lot of those.
I didn't know that was a Scottish thing, but they're everywhere, and they're delicious.
They are delicious.
Fudge.
Yeah, that was interesting. The vanilla fudge.
Mm-hmm. They also, well, of course, Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
We had a lot of that, and our tour guide told us about this soda or soft drink. He said, okay, you go into stores in America, you see Coke and Pepsi and all this stuff. They have a soft drink called Iron Brew, and it's orange. It's very similar to like an orange soda, like a Fanta that you would get here, but they're all about it over there. That's like the soft drink of choice, which is interesting too. Lots of interesting things about other countries.
Well, because we got some of that after we walked up Calton Hill with our tour group, and a lot of people were struggling on that walk, which I didn't think it was that bad of a walk. I mean, like, it's an incline, but it wasn't that bad. And after that, he served us the Iron Brew, and then we also got some shots of whiskey, which may or may not have been the best way to hydrate after walking around the top of there.
We had a bottle of whiskey that was almost gone when we walked back down. Yeah.
Oh, one certain person was drinking it. But
we stopped at a wine bar. What was that place called?
Pickles.
Pickles. Yeah, I should have known that. That was really cool. And I don't usually think of like little cutesy wine bars as a Scottish thing, but they're everywhere. And that was a really good stop. Our tour guide said he goes there and said it was a good choice. Yep. So we picked well.
Yeah, it was very nice. There was no Scottish wine on the menu. I don't think Scotland makes a lot of wine. I don't think so. But definitely a fun little stop on our trip.
And then what about the oatmeal? What's that about?
Oh, apparently Scotland is known for its oatmeal, like also with like the Scotch eggs that we never got to try.
That's one regret, we didn't have a Scotch egg.
Yeah.
Next time.
Shoot. Guess we have to go back.
Back.
Just for an egg. All right. Coming in at number 8, we have got Munich. So you've only had a legit pretzel and beer in Munich with our few layovers we've had just this year alone.
I was about to say, I haven't even been to Munich, but
you've been to the airport
twice this year. Yep. To the airport. I had a pretzel.
You've had a pretzel and a traditional beer. At like 9 a.m, but it counts. I mean, it's in Germany. They don't give a shit. But I have been to Munich with a couple of my girlfriends before, and like I've had stuff at the Hofbrauhaus as well as the beer garden that's near like the Chinese Tower. There, I think we were able to get like the Bavarian pretzels, brats, Wiener Schnitzel, what have you. Also, this is where my love affair with Spätzle began, as well as like apple strudels. When we were at Hofbrauhaus, we made sure to get a giant plate of Obatsta cheese, which I absolutely love, especially if you scoop it up with your pretzel. It's made of a mix of... We've had it before. Cheese? Yeah. We had that at the Oktoberfest with our friends, where it was like the soft cheese that has like a bunch of spices. It's kind of orange in color.
Okay.
You've had it.
I believe you. Yeah.
But that was really fun. I have yet to make it home. A friend of ours has made it for us, but really fun. Otherwise, we really enjoyed, and I'm totally going to butcher the pronunciation of this, but Schweinsachse, which is basically like a giant hunk of meat that's like, it's a pork knuckle, and so it gets really crispy on the outside, and it's just this big hunk of meat that will be plopped on your plate. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it. And then lastly, I have to mention potato salad just because it comes with everything, but it is very fantastic. Again, not a traditional place that you think of when it's like, ooh, foodie destinations, but I will happily eat my way through Munich or probably anywhere in Germany.
All right, next at number 7, we've got Reykjavik, and that's in Iceland, if you didn't know. So we went out there for a wedding a few years ago, and of course did a food tour there, organized tour, as well as went some places on our own. So on the tour, the food tour, the biggest thing I remember is the hot dog. Well, one of the things is the hot dog, the Icelandic hot dog. I don't remember what was in this thing, but it had some...
Isn't it beef and lamb or something?
It may be, yeah, like a mix of different meats, but it had like some kind of mustard or sauce and like crispy onions.
Crispy onions.
Yeah, the crispy onions were what really set it apart.
Yeah, we better have some crispy onions at least at Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah. I'm going to be mad.
Oh, absolutely. So we also had the shark. So one of Iceland's like most notorious dishes is fermented shark. And I don't know the history, so I'm not even going to try. I don't know how many years it goes back. It's very like prominent, traditional in their like older culture. But yeah, it's shark that they bury in the ground and ferment for
oh god, who knows how long.
A while. And it was served to us on just a little toothpick, a cube, like a, I don't know, 1/4-inch cube. It wasn't very much, but that's all you needed. At least, I mean, we got to try it. I'm happy that we tried it.
We tried it. It smelled awful, but we tried it.
Yes, it smelled like ammonia. It was not, yeah.
It's not very appetizing.
No. So we had a bunch of stuff on that tour. We had Arctic char, fish mash, rye bread. Apparently rye bread's a big thing in Iceland. Lamb stew, various cheeses and meats, and we even had horse, which horse is they're like cows are here. Like they raise horses for meat, which is, I didn't know that going into it. And I mean, it tastes fine. It's meat. Like,
and we had it in jerky form too, so it was, I don't know. Yeah, tasted like meat.
I'd eat it again. I guess they make like steaks out of it and everything, and yeah. So, we stopped someplace for lunch. This is outside the food tour for bread bowls, soup bread bowls, and a beer. Yep. And yeah, that was like really nice lunch.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
The only thing with like Icelandic food culture, well, just Iceland in general, it's so expensive because wasn't like our soup lunch was like $50.
The Iceland in general is expensive, including the food. Yeah, I want to say, I can't remember if it was either $50 per person for that meal or 50 total. And all we had were 2 bread bowls and 2 beers. Total, not each. Yeah, like. Yeah. So yeah, just expect to drop some dough. Yeah. Yeah, in Iceland.
But the beers were good. Yeah. Because we had the Viking beer pretty much everywhere we went.
I mean, how could you not?
Yeah. All right, coming in at number 6, we have Fira, which is on the island of Santorini in Greece. And we were there recently this summer on a cruise, and we kind of just had like a free afternoon to walk around. We had already stopped at a wine bar when we were in the town of Ia, and so when we got to Fira, we were pretty hungry. So we found this great like rooftop restaurant that we ordered like a meze plate. So we got like meats and cheeses. They had that one like cream cheese whip for like the bread, and that was really good. I ate all the olives, so thank you for not liking those.
Anytime.
What else was on that?
Chicken? The meat?
Or the meze plate. We also had like I think like tomatoes, like just a bunch of like light snack bites. And then we also got some grilled octopus. That was really fantastic. I mean, you really can't go wrong on an island ordering seafood. Yeah. But then we made sure to save room as they had lamb and like chicken souvlaki, which is what you got, the chicken skewers. Yeah. And then we did stop at Argostoli, which was a different city. And there we made sure to go balls to the wall and get some good gyros. I don't think you even finished all the gyros.
This thing was gigantic. Wasn't it like...
Didn't you get
3 of them? Like 3 like full size
gyros
pitas with stuff, and I was like, "There's no way."
No, you did not finish that. I made pretty good headway on my plate because I just ordered the gyro plate, so it wasn't like in the sandwich style. So just a big old honking plate of meat came to me.
You can't beat Greek meat.
No. But Fira was still a really great place for us to explore Greece's food culture. Again, that's another place that I would love to go back. I cannot wait until we have the opportunity to go back to Santorini, just because it was such a beautiful island. They have great food, great wine, just such a nice experience. You really can't go wrong with whatever you end up ordering there.
Yep. All right, so next up at number 5, we've got Venice. So Italy, anywhere in Italy.
Can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. But this was one of those trips where we got a peek into how it can vary, throughout the different regions and cities of the country because Venice had we did a food tour there.
We did,
and they have dishes like small plates called cicchetti. Did I say that right?
Cicchetti.
Cicchetti. Damn it!
You speak Italian. You should know this.
So I don't know why I can't remember how to pronounce this word. Cicchetti. Italian tapas, basically. Mm-hmm. So we had some bruschettas with shrimp and onion and cod. The cod.
That cod was
okay,
amazing.
so let me tell you something about this cod. That's one of the Venetian specialties. It's what is it? Salted and dried cod, and then they whip it with or mix it with olive oil and then makes it all creamy and it's so good.
So good.
So good. We had a lot of stuff on that food tour as well. We had the Italian grilled cheese.
Those were good.
Grilled cheese is like global. It's good everywhere.
You don't see one stuffed with anchovies here that much.
Did it have anchovies? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I mean, whatever it was delicious. Obviously, we had some pasta. Mm-hmm. Not as much pasta as I would have expected on that trip.
We were only in Venice for 2 days.
Yeah. And again, the seafood, since you're right there on the water, you can't beat that. Gelato.
We had a lot of gelato in our 2 days.
I love me some gelato.
Didn't we go to that one place like twice?
Probably. In the same day, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah. But yeah, you can't beat gelato anywhere in the country. But it's different there. There's something about it.
Well, I mean, it's just fresh and like authentic.
So good. So good.
Order the pistachio.
The green stuff.
All right. Coming in at number 4, we have got Lisbon. And so Lisbon was actually a destination that we hadn't really thought of that much of until we went on a family trip with my family. So they took us over to Portugal, where we spent most of our time in Lisbon. We did have a day in Sintra, but we did spend the majority of our time in Lisbon. And one of the experiences we did that was kind of a food tour, but a little bit different was it's called Dinner with a Local. So we just went over to this woman's house. Her name was Isabel, and she basically let us come over for dinner one night and cooked up a bunch of traditional foods to help us understand the food culture. We could talk to her about anything. I mean, she was a Lisbon local. I think what she said, she born native and raised there, raised her family there. Obviously knows it inside and out. She's very easy to talk to. But when we got there, it was just a spread of food on the table. She had some roasted carrots, meat and cheese platter. She had some prawns set out for us, olives, bread, olive oil. And then our second course was kind of like the cod that we had in Venice, but it was mixed with a truffle oil, but just, kind of whipped up. We had also some truffle oil mashed potatoes, so lots of truffle oil that night, but fantastic. And then she also made us some pork ribs that were really tasty. And then we had probably 9 gallons of wine during that dinner. I mean, her wine budget has to just be gigantic.
Yeah.
And then, of course, at the end, she served us pastel or pastiche de natas, as well as I think she also had some chocolate-covered almonds on the table. But
sounds right. Yeah.
Anyway, it was just a really interesting experience. It was really cool just learning about the food culture from someone who grew up with it. It's one thing to go out to a restaurant and be like, haha, this is a traditional dish, but to have somebody actually make it in their home for you, it was just really interesting. But we also did plenty of eating out in Lisbon on our own. One of my favorite dishes that we had the entire time we were there, which their cod is everywhere. You can get it in crab cake form. You can just eat it fried. There's a variety of ways to do it, but my favorite was called bacalhau com natas, which is cod with cream, and oh my god, I truly think that is one of the best things I've ever eaten in my entire life. I loved this dish. Came out, it was all creamy and cheesy and just big hunks of meat, big hunks of fish in it. It was fantastic.
And it was put under the broilers. It had that nice crispy cheese on top.
It was very tasty. Truly, if I could go relive one food moment in my life, that would be it. We also made sure to have plenty of sardines, which are really popular over there. I made sure to order the polvo or octopus one night because I love octopus, but it also really freaked my dad out as he does not like watching people eat that stuff. So made sure to really enjoy that.
Well, because it was one
just one
continuous
tentacle.
tentacle that's like curling in with all the suckers on it. So it's like, it looks a little unappetizing, but it's so good.
So
Yeah.
tender.
Yeah.
And then we also tried the caldo verde, which is a soup that has like kale and sausage in it. Very nice way to start your meal. Pretty light, pretty good. And then for drinking, obviously there is a ton of wine that you can order in Lisbon, as well as port coming from their neighbor, Porto, which you can get in a white, tawny, or ruby version. But we made sure to drink plenty of Vino Verde, which is kind of like a lightly effervescent white wine. And then the Ginginha, which is their like sour cherry liqueur that you can buy from like street vendors. That's where we first tried it. And definitely spring the extra like 50 cents to get it served in like a little chocolate cup. So they'll pour you a shot, you drink half of it, they'll refill you, and then you like pop the whole thing in your mouth. It's an amazing experience. I made sure to bring some home with us because it was very good.
Very good.
All right.
All right, next up at number 3, we've got Paris. And I mean, I probably don't even have to say much about this. It's Paris.
France in general.
Yeah, France in general. The bread, the
You
pastries.
love the baguettes.
Oh god, I could just walk by those bakeries and just look at the baguettes. I mean, they taste good too.
Yeah.
But
Just look
it's
at 'em.
gorgeous. It's so gorgeous. So we had all kinds of like the pastries and breads and duck and beef tartare and escargot. One of my favorite things about like the Paris food culture is the cafes, like the street side cafes.
Yep.
You just pop a squat. You don't have to go like be seated, and it's kind of a culture shock from
The first time.
American eating. Because it's like, oh wait, I can just sit here and someone will come help me. And
then if you stand there being like, do I go down? And they're like, just sit.
Yeah. So there were a number of days number of meals across a couple of days where hey, what do you want to do? Let's go have some wine and
Get some escargot.
And escargot at this place right here. Yeah. And the croissants, the pain au chocolats. Along on that same vein of the cafes, we did breakfast did we go to that place 2 days or twice? Yeah, they went to the same place like 2 mornings in a row because it was so good.
It was good. It was right around the corner.
Yeah, they had sandwiches and quiche and all the pastries and breads, and just that stuff was just on every corner, literally like every corner. And
You can't
it's
go hungry.
all delicious. And I don't know what they do to it over there, how they make it, but it's just so much better at the source, I think.
Well, and even, returning to that same bakery, I think the only thing we had in common both days was the pain au chocolat. Otherwise, we tried other things, and everything was amazing. Like, we probably could have gone there a week straight and had different food items every single day.
Yeah.
And, like, we were ordering multiple things because we were sharing them, so just lots of food. Lots of good food.
I really like the sandwiches. I forget what they call them, but like the ham and cheese sandwiches on the baguette. That's just sitting there in the windows, just calling my name.
That crusty crust.
Yeah. One, they're buttered. Oh, they're it's like butter, and then cheese and ham, and that's it. Like it's not even hot. Like it doesn't need to be like. Oh, it's so good.
So good. Yeah, I think Paris is one of those cities that we can definitely go back to and continue to eat our way through.
Sign me up.
Or like that one day we got lunch and did a croque monsieur and a croque madame.
Yeah.
Just to see the difference and try them both.
That's also where I got my liter
Your
of
liter
cola.
of cola.
I wanted a Coke Zero. I wanted a bubbly like soft drink. I ordered it, and then the waiter said something about the size, and I lost in translation and brought back literally a stein, like a liter stein, filled to this much. Like it was funny.
To his credit, he wasn't the only person at this bar that had that same exact drink. So
because I was like, oh, okay, look at the American and his big tankard of Coke. Like,
you weren't alone.
No, it was another American doing this.
But I sat there with my glass of rosé. Not that I can pass as a French person at all, but
oui.
All right, coming in at number 2, we have Barcelona which is also, I think, just one of our favorite foodie destinations we've ever been
It's
to together.
it's my personal favorite place. Yeah.
I mean, I think we are looking at trying to go back to Spain, and like we'd have to have a stop in Barcelona. Not only because like the city is gorgeous, the architecture is so neat, just the history and the culture, but my God, like what wouldn't I eat? Put it in front of me and I will chow down, because whatever I'm going to come across in Barcelona is bound to be fantastic. I mean, between patatas bravas, the jamon iberico, the croquetas, like whenever we go out to tapas restaurants, we are ordering the croquettes because we know they are going to be amazing.
Yeah. I'll say it again. I love the tapas culture. Or the way, and also in Barcelona, just the fact that they eat so late, like they have dinner so late. But then you stop at a place for some tapas in the afternoon. It's like, oh, it's gonna have a couple small bites here. It's not gonna fill me up.
Yep.
But yeah, I like that, the grazing kind of
I do too.
idea. Yeah.
Well, and we did that again, on our own in Paris, and then even the Venice food tour. Barbara brought that up. Like Venice food culture with their chiquetti, they'll just go to different wine bars, kind of like a moving dinner, and they pick their restaurants based on the type of chiquetti that they offer. So they'll just go in, have a glass of wine, have a few light bites. Okay, we're done here. Move on to the next place, glass of wine, few light bites there, move on. It sounds pretty great instead of like driving out to a restaurant and just hanging out there all night.
Oh, and one thing I just thought of, I'll say about all these locations, we didn't go to any. There are chain restaurants. We obviously didn't go to any, but just the number of locally owned, like mom and pop, family style, like restaurants.
Yep.
Like that's what it is. You don't have the Applebee's and everything on every corner like in America. And the other thing that was cool about Venice is they said that there's restaurants that we went to that are like generational.
Yep.
They're like, oh, the people working behind the bar
are the
kids of the people that were working when I was a kid here. And yeah.
Yep.
It's
just
so
a
cool.
real family business. Going back to Barcelona.
Yeah, sorry, I got off topic there. Yeah.
Other things that we really love, again, this is something that whenever we go out to any Spanish restaurants, we're always ordering paella, especially like seafood paella. It's going to be amazing. And then one morning, we'd been on the hunt for these and had not found them, but the churros con chocolate, when we finally did find them, it was amazing. Because it was just like, a little like basket of churros and then this like really thick chocolate sauce that you just dunk in. And then apparently you can like eat the entire chocolate sauce, but like...
Yeah, you could drink it. Yeah.
You could drink it, but it was rich and thick.
I mean, what's
fantastic.
better, like fried dough dipped in chocolate? I mean, come on.
It was very good. And then the last one we had was also the crema catalana, which is basically the Spanish creme brulee. But again, I think, honestly, between like the sangria and the paella and tapas and just all the food in Barcelona, I'd happily go there for a week and just gain 50 pounds. That would be okay with me.
Well, no, I think one point we were talking about doing a food and wine tour.
Yep.
Like specifically a food and wine tour of the whole of Spain, not just Barcelona.
Yeah. Fantastic food destination. All right. That leads us to number 1.
All right. So number 1, we've got Rome. And I know I've already talked about Italy a little bit, so I won't ramble on the same things again. But some of the things that stood out on our Rome trip, we had like carbonara, cacio e pepe, some really good pasta. I feel like we had more pasta in Rome.
Oh, we definitely had more pasta in Rome.
And also there was a pizza place, a specific pizza place that I had to go to that I saw on YouTube.
That wasn't like a international Guy Fieri tour or something? Oh.
No. Hey, we're all learning things today.
Yep. So, we walked to this specific pizza place across the entire city.
It was like a 45-minute walk.
I mean, to be fair,
it
was right behind the Vatican, so we were headed that way anyway, and it was worth it.
Yeah.
It was worth it.
Yeah, it was a Bonci Pizzarium, and so they do pizza. Well, here we call it pizza by the slice. There they call it
pizza by the weight.
Italia. So
pizza
by the cut. So they have a pair of so they have like pans of pizza and shears, and you tell them how big of a piece you want, and then it's by weight.
Yep.
Which is really cool. And they also had these arancini We probably have heard of those here, just like fried rice balls. Their version of that they're called soupli, and they had different varieties, but I remember the one we had was like spaghetti.
Yeah, it was carbonara.
It was like carbonara, and then I think we had like a regular spaghetti
I think
one with like
I think we tried a few
bolognese.
different ones.
But yeah, like made into a ball, breaded and deep fried. So
You really can't go wrong.
so good. And then yeah, pizza in general, as well as the gelato. Like I said, can't go wrong with
You
that
can't go
anywhere.
wrong. I don't think I've ever had like a cannoli in Italy because I'm always just out to get gelato.
I guess I haven't either. Yeah.
I think I've had tiramisu, but yeah.
Yeah, we just always gravitate
We always
to the gelato.
gravitate towards gelato.
Yeah.
It's so good though.
And it's just right there. It's so easy to pop in and grab a cone and yeah.
Well, because the one gelato place we went to when we were in Rome, the Fior di Latte. Oh, so good. So good. I mean, I don't, it should not come as a surprise that Rome is our number one just because it is filled with so much good food. Again, another city that I would go spend a week in, just roaming around
Roaming.
Rome. You see what I did there? All right. Well, that wraps up our top 10 countdown for foodie destinations in Europe. Be sure to check out our blog at backtothepassport.com for more in-depth reviews of some of these food tours, as well as just other travel-related content. Otherwise, thanks for watching and happy Thanksgiving. Ciao.
Ciao. Cut.